So this is going to be my Padlet creation for module number 4, and I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to try to define a couple of terms that were in there and then see if I can kind of explain how that, and explain it through an experience that I've had. So Cooley coined the term the looking glass self, which roughly breaks down to we look to how others, or how we perceive others, react to us, and we form a basis of who we believe that we are based upon how we feel those people feel about us. So basically, how do I appear to other people? And that leads into what must others think of me? And then once you think about what others think of you, you revise how you think about yourself. He said that we evaluate and judge ourselves based on how we imagine other people feel about us. But truth be told, it isn't their actual perception of us that matters. It is how we think they perceive us that factors into our perception of self. How we think they perceive us, not how they actually are, how we think. So you could be operating under false pretenses, and this could lead us to develop our self-identities based off of correct or incorrect perceptions of how others see us. And is this positive or negative? I guess it could be. I guess it's situational. So to tie that into like a memory experience that I've had, my mom and dad are from East San Jose. I was born in the Bay Area, but I wasn't raised here. My mother moved us up to a small town in the middle of nowhere to help take care of my grandmother after my grandfather passed. I think I was around 5 or 6. We were the first brown family, or maybe one of the first, to move into the area. The general landscape was hillbillies that wore shit kickers and overalls, drove trucks, and had shotguns in the back window. They liked to hunt, and they hadn't been exposed to too many melanated people. It was hard growing up because I was different, and when you're different, it stands out. And no matter how hard I tried to endear myself to the kids that I was exposed to, for the most part, to them, I was just a nigger. Basically, that's what they told me. I don't even know that they even knew what that was, but the culture that they grew up in, that was how their parents, I'm assuming, talked, and the thoughts that they had. I'm assuming they never even met a black or a brown person, but that's the culture that they grew up in, and so that's how they treated me. So I don't know if this ties into the looking glass self, but I tried to endear myself to them. It didn't work. And so I decided, okay, you know what? Man, fuck y'all. I'm going to be the opposite of everything that you guys are. So I had a TV. There were magazines and stuff, and I didn't fit in with that culture, but what I would see on TV sometimes, and magazines, hip hop, I saw people that looked like me and that were the complete opposite of the folks I was around. So I started to, once I got a little bit older, I started to dress, hip hop, baggy clothes. I'd wear basketball shoes, not boots like them, and I did it, one, because it made me feel, I felt comfortable in that, but also I liked assuming that I was making other people feel uncomfortable. They already thought I was a nigger or whatever, so okay, I'm gonna give you a nigger. You gonna, right? It's gonna be more up in your face, but and for the most part, it probably was true. What I was perceiving that they believed about me, I think for the most part was true, but also because I was, hurt by not being accepted by those folks, I think that I painted everyone in that area with a broad brush, and I assumed they were thinking about me in a certain way, when in reality, maybe they were, maybe they weren't. But um, it helped me to develop into the person that I thought I was, based upon how I perceived other people were feeling about me. So I don't know if that is I don't know if that is the Looking Glass Self, but I feel I don't know necessarily that what I read about the Looking Glass Self says that our perceptions of ourselves is based off other people. They didn't, and whether it's true or not, it doesn't say who you believe yourself to be. It doesn't say whether it's positive or negative. So anyway, okay. So then the other thing that I was gonna say about experience is when I saw what Irving Goffman said about the sincere actor, and that's something that struck a nerve with me because that's something that I can relate to. I work in the healthcare industry, and I sincerely believed that my act, the act that I'm putting on, is an expression of my own identity, and I truly want others to believe this. That's it. I wholeheartedly believe in the act that I'm performing, and I absolutely want people to believe it as well. Not because I would want them to think that I'm a good person or, I'm so great. It's that I have empathy for people, and I would do anything I could to help them. Just because I work in the healthcare field doesn't mean that that's innate of everybody that does work in the healthcare field. So I want to make it known to them explicitly that this act that I'm putting on of, oh my God, do you need anything? Do you need me to go slow? Well, can I adjust you? Can I do? It's not fake. It's not made up. It's sincere. And I truly believe that that's who I am. And I absolutely want them to feel that and believe the same thing. One thing that I will say is, though, when I'm in the work setting, I'm able to step outside of myself, and I'm able to focus on the task at hand, which is helping people. And it takes me out of my own head or whatever it is. And so, on top of feeling like I truly am a sincere actor when it comes to my role here in the hospital, how I betray myself to people, once I step out the door and I go into a different setting where I'm just kind of afloat, I don't always choose to necessarily be a sincere actor. I'm not sure how that works. I don't think being a sincere actor means that you can only be one way. But I've noticed that in this structured setting of work, where I know I'm coming in and my job's to help, and I enjoy it and I derive pleasure out of it. It makes me feel good. Once I step outside that door where that structure isn't there, I am still that same person, but I don't necessarily have to act in that same way. I could be rude if I want to, not that I would, but I don't. It feels like I don't hold myself to the same standards once I step outside that door. And sometimes I wish that I would, and I don't get why I don't.